Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the opening action, the trading setup and the market strategies you need to follow for this fresh and new day and for the week ahead as well. Now remember, we started off this week with a bang on Monday with substantial gap up of nearly 300 points on the Nifty yesterday. We also crossed over 25,000 mark on the intraday levels as well. But towards the end of the session also we maintained gains of almost 240 odd points, and we did see 24,876 as the closing level for the Nifty yesterday. It was autos, consumer durables, realty, metals, FMCG, all of these sectors that really contributed to the gains yesterday. The sentiment was driven by the weekend announcement of Prime Minister Narendra Modi talking about the GST reforms that will be coming in the next 1 or 2 months as well, and that's really fueled some fire back into the D Street and the sentiments there as well. Many of the stocks within the auto pack were trading in high single digits. Many of them were at record high levels as well, with the hopes that reduced GST rates going forward can actually spur demand and for consumption within the auto pack, within consumer durables. Those were the spaces that really reacted sharply in trade. Of course, as of today, we're again going to be seeing that we might have a mild start for the markets because the global cues as well as the investors are assessing the impact of the discussions that happened at the White House between the US President Donald Trump and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. Now, and of course, the European leaders as well. Following the talks at the White House, we've seen that Zelensky has said that he will be willing to meet directly with Russian leader Vladimir Putin to end the invasion of his country as well. So a trilateral talk is something that everybody is keeping a keen eye out on. What happened overnight on the US equity markets? Well, they settled flat as investors are still awaiting key retail earnings and Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's annual speech at the central bank's Jackson Hole summit. Now, the S&P 500 that settled almost flat with a negative bias. We did see Dow Jones Industrial Average fell by about 0.07% in trade. Asian markets were trading lower. Also this morning, tracking the Wall Street declines overnight, we did see last checking that Nikkei was about down 0.4% odd in trade. Right now it's down by 0.1%, so the losses have reduced. Let's look at the Kospi. That's also down by about 0.4%. Hang Seng down by just mildly 0.09%. We're also looking at the Chinese index that's higher by about 0.1%. Gift Nifty indicating at a start at 24,951. Let's see how this pans out in trade again. Of course, we'll also keep a keen eye out on what's happening on the primary market space. From the main board segment, we have IPOs of Patel Retail, Vikram Solar, Gem Aromatics and Shriji Shipping that will be opening for bidding. Whereas on the debut space, we'll look at Bluestone Jewelry and Lifestyle make its debut on the exchanges today as well. Gift Nifty, we've already marked out for all our viewers, is indicating a mild start at this point in time, and there'll be so many stocks that we will be keeping a keen eye out on as well. Let's now wait for welcoming our guest on board. We have Mr. Vineet Bolinchkar, Head of Research Ventura Securities, who will be joining in pretty shortly. But let me just reiterate for all our viewers any kind of stocks that you can keep on your watch list today. Let's start off with the big boy Reliance Industries. That's going to be in focus in today's trading session. That's because the FMCG arm of Reliance Industries, that's Reliance Consumer Products, has forayed into the fast-growing, healthy, functional beverage space with the acquisition of a majority stake in a joint venture with Nature Edge Beverages, as it looks to enhance its presence as a total beverage company. Let's look at Vedanta. The board will consider the second interim dividend on equity shares in a meeting. The record date for determining the entitlement of equity shareholders of the dividend is declared is fixed as of August 27th. So keep a keen eye out on that in case you are a shareholder or a potential investor of Vedanta. Let's also look at RITES from the railway space. This public sector infrastructure consultancy company is looking to achieve a 10,000 crore rupees order book by the end of this fiscal year, that's FY26. It is broadening its scope of work, eyeing big, more ticket orders as well. So keep an eye out on RITES as well. For the week so far, it's up by almost 1%. Let's see how this news flow really impacts the stock today. Definitely positive news flow should be, supporting some green ticks ahead. Escorts Kubota, that's another one. Now, the Yamuna Expressway Industrial Development Authority has allotted around 200 acres of land to Escorts Kubota for setting up 4,500 crores of tractor manufacturing unit. That's something that you can definitely keep an eye out on. From the metal space, JSW Steel is another one. There's a pact that is signed between JSW Steel and South Korea's POSCO to explore setting up of 6 million tons per annum integrated steel plant in India, with Odisha among the top locations being considered for the project as well. So keep an eye out on this stock too. From the telecom basket, look at MTNL. Now, MTNL, there's some negative news that the company has reported increase in its loan defaults, outstanding dues to public sector banks climbing to now 8,659 odd crore rupees as of July 31st of 2025. The company has said in a stock filing. Now, apart from this, Swiggy is going to be in focus as well from the food delivery and the QSR space. And that's because the company has now announced a partnership with an EV company, Bounce. Now, the collaboration aims to utilize Bounce's electric scooters for the food delivery majors operations across multiple cities. So that's a partnership deal that you can definitely keep an eye out on. From the hospitality space, look at Indian Hotels Company today. The company has signed an agreement with Madison, that's the hospitality platform of Terminus Group, and a JV Ventures for 10 new hotels that will be operated under the Ginger brand, spread across the southern states of India as well. So a lot of expansion plans coming in for the south of India when it comes to newer hotels under Ginger brand that will be opened. So keep a keen eye out on that. What are the top brokerage houses really saying in trade today? Well, CLSA has its report on Vodafone Idea today. They have an outperform rating on Vodafone Idea and a target price of 8. This is after the Q1 FY26 revenue was up just 1% sequentially, 5% year on year, and the EBITDA was flat on a Q on Q basis. The ARPU was up by 1%. On a sequential basis, 13% increase on a year-on-year basis as well. That's one of the brokerage house reports that we are looking at. But let's quickly go across to Vineet Bulinchkar first. He's the head of research at Ventura Securities and joins in on the program with us. Warm welcome to you, Vineet. Good to have you with us this morning. So much to discuss with you. Let's start off with what's happened just overnight. You know, what we've seen in at the White House, especially the meeting with US President Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky. There is an indication that there could be a trilateral talk between US, Ukraine and Russia. Zelensky has also agreed to directly talk to Putin to find out if there is any end to the war that has been persistent for now 4 years. What exactly is your thought process in case there is some positive talk or progress on the breakthrough there? Could it be positive for India? Because one of the key aspects that India has been facing is that we continue to, borrow, oil from Russia or buy oil from Russia. And, Donald Trump has been making statements like till the time there is a ceasefire, India will continue to be on the watch list on the negative side when it comes to tariffs. How are you looking at this development with respect to India, sir?
Zelensky has little choice because, Putin is almost looking to take over the country. The way they are bombing and, the way Zelensky has run out of ideas. I think, the the direction of the matter is obviously sealed, is that the war is going to come to a ceasefire very soon. Given this thing, I think the instigation which is there for Trump to levy tariffs against us goes away. So I expect that the 25% tariffs will stay, while the additional penalties will not be levied on India going ahead. So that is something which we could look forward to in the near future.
Okay, so there is a hope that the additional 25% tariff that is slated to be, implemented by August 27, even if the talks do not happen from our own end or between India and the US, there is some sense that that might not be put on India thus far, and the 25% baseline tariff will sustain. Even if the 25% baseline tariff sustain, Vineet, do you think it is still negative for sectors like textiles, chemicals, fertilizers for that matter, some gems and jewelry, maybe even sectorally, we still do not have any clarity as to what will happen on pharma thus far.
So, my personal opinion is that, the 25% is already discounted. And going ahead, we will see, uh, the markets take this into their stride and move ahead. I believe that, currently the tariffs which are there on China are very, very steep. And so it makes Indian products very, very attractive vis-a-vis the US. So vis-a-vis
Okay.
China. And hence, I think that there is a better leg put forward for the Indian exporters to the US markets.
Okay, got that. Let's also talk about this big domestic trigger that we have now received from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The next generation GST reforms are upon us. We've been hearing about how GST needs an overhaul for many years now, and finally, there is an indication that it will happen sooner than later now. There is an expectation, there are proposals in place to reduce the number of slabs on GST as well. There is an expectation more and more household items. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also indicated for MSMEs, a lot of things could actually come under lower, GST rates as well. So we are hoping. Yesterday we did see a sharp bounce on, say, auto stocks, on FMCG stocks, on consumer durables. How are you looking at this big announcement? What's your key expectation there?
So, on the macro front, we just did some rolling of numbers and we thought that, if you consider 10% volume growth and the slabs are taken into place the way it is anticipated, I think the hit to the Indian exchequer is going to be about 1.8 trillion rupees, which is about 1,80,000 crores. And, to overcome that, RBI can raise its dividend. At the same time, we can also look at, uh, you know, stepping the pedal on the PSU divestment. That would be very important. But these GST reforms are not the only trigger. I think there is going to be a lot coming in from the banking sector also, because the FADA has told banks to lower the weightages on bank loans, and that is also been happening. And so we could see a lot of similar type of action play out on the other sectors too. So I think we are in for some more. Basically the government will do everything that it takes to support the sectors, because a lot of jobs are at stake, and these sectors can just fall off. So it is important to support them until they find their footing, and the drop in exports is compensated by diversification of geographical markets.
Okay, so Vineet, have you added any key stocks and sectors to your buy list after this GST announcement has come in? How long do you continue to expect the benefits will continue? Yesterday was a sharp knee-jerk reaction on the positive side. We did see that. But can it have, the potential to continue the upside going forward? And once the final cuts are announced, how long can we play this as a theme?
So, it is important that we overcome the 25,000 psychological levels. Yesterday we reversed sharply from the 50-day average, and we have held the gap too. And I expect that, follow through action can come through, but, we need to take out the 25,000 level for further follow through action to happen. That is very important. Next thing, what is happening is that UAE has, discontinued, uh, you know, demand drafts beyond October 18th on a host of currencies which are linked to the, which are in the West and and the US. So, these are not very encouraging signs, because, what you are telling the world is that the currencies are going to come in for some kind of a massive pressure. And hence, this global reset that we are expecting might be more sooner than later, and that could still continue to weigh heavily on the markets.
Okay, so that will be another overhang that one needs to continue to watch out for in the near to medium term, and that might keep a lid on the sentiments on the upside as far as the markets are concerned. On the GST changes, since we are talking about it, what we are given to understand is that there are reports that are mentioning that even government fiscal deficit could widen by about 0.2%. That's estimated by some reports due to the GST changes that are now going to be coming in. But the growth gains definitely outweigh the slippage, is what they say. So the government's fiscal deficit could see a short-term increase due to proposed changes in the goods and services tax structure, but the growth boost is expected to outweigh temporary slippage. This is according to MK research that we have got to know. How are you looking at this? Does it really make any impact on the overall setup in which the people are looking at investments?
I think that obviously the deficit would take a hit. But what is encouraging is that, our oil bond payments are coming to a end. We won't have any more oil bonds to pay to Iran. I think it's only about 10,000 crores net, which is pending. So, this can be taken in the stride of the government areas. And, we've done good things during COVID. We've done good things during GST, GST 1 when it was introduced, when Demon was announced. So, this is another event which is which is very, very devastating for the Indian economy. And so government will take everything that it needs to, pull the economy out of this kind of situation. So, I think that, we could also see interest rates come off a bit. Actually, what is happening is in Japan, interest rates are going up. So, the yen carry trade is going to play out very aggressively out there. And while we still have a status quo on the dollar rates, it will be very interesting to see how the US economy performs because, with the kind of inflation that is there, growth out there is completely going to become negative, and that could push rates down. So, which is very positive for the Indian markets also. And, so we have a lot of positive forces, with the overhang of the global reset playing out. So it's a little tricky to, stick your neck out and say what will happen. But genuinely for the Indian markets, I think that the trend is quite positive.
Okay, got that. So that's the clear view. Let me just look at the markets in the pre-open trade they have settled, and we'll come back to our overall conversation. We have 24,891 on the Nifty, 14 points higher in trade. Sectorally, it's the infra stocks, metals, oil and gas that are buzzing. Small caps and mid caps also on the higher zone, but IT and private banks could actually be seeing a slower start. On the markets, on the Nifty, you have Reliance that could be opening higher. NTPC, Eternal, Tata Consumer Products could also be opening in the positive zone right now. That's what we are given to understand in the pre-open trade as of now. Let's also welcome we also have Arpit joining in. Arpit Beriwal, analyst at Derivatives Wealth Management, Motilal Oswal Financial Services, is joining in to share with us his technical view on the markets as well. We'll also be taking from him the key stock ideas that you should be watching out for. But we need, in the interim, if you could also help us understand, after the earnings have concluded, have there been any earnings upgrades from your own end? Have you looked at any spaces which now have shown you promise for continued uptick in the earnings going forward from here?
I think, the electrification story is going to be a very strong theme that is going to play out in the future. If I were to point out one theme, I think that's going to play out very, very strongly, irrespective of the market sentiment.
Okay.
Because AI today is consuming so much power that we are witnessing power cuts in the US. So they will be investing, and it's going to be a global theme, and that is one place where you can hide, uh, considering the fact that it's going to be a very, very strong theme played out over the next few years.
Okay, got that. Let me also just welcome Arpit is with us now. Arpit, good morning to you. Good to have you with us. After yesterday's sharp bounce, I wanted to ask you, technically, do you expect that momentum to continue in trade today? And on the Nifty Bank, where are you seeing continued positive signs?
Very good morning to all. So yesterday we have seen finally after a very long time a gap up opening in Nifty and Bank Nifty both. But surprisingly, if we see for the most part of the day, the index was consolidative. Some cool off was seen from the higher levels in the Nifty from 25,000 levels. But the good part is that technically Nifty has negated the formation of lower highs on the weekly scale after almost 6 to 7 weeks. So that definitely triggers the change in the stance of the index overall. And now the Nifty base has been shifted higher from 24,400 to 24,650, 24,700 levels. On the upside, hurdle is seen around 25,000, 25,200 levels. On the daily scale, index managed to surpass about its 50 DEMA. So all in all, if you look at the overall structure of Nifty, we're expecting positive bias till Nifty holds about 24,750 levels because that was the earlier hurdle level. So now it's likely to act as a support. So overall, our stance will be positive till Nifty holds about 24,750 levels. Whereas on the upside, 25,000, 25,100 call writing is intact. So at that level, the upside would be intact and index is expected to consolidate within this band.
Okay, any two stock ideas that you could share with us, Arpit?
Yeah, so looking at the broader market and the index specific, so there are a lot of good opportunities. First of all, from the AMC pack, HDFC AMC. So a very strong uptrend on the monthly and the weekly setup, forming higher high structure on the monthly setup from last 5 months. On the weekly setup, it has given a range breakout almost after 3 to 4 weeks. And on the daily, it's a strong bullish Marubozu candle with highest daily close. So that clearly indicates that this counter is likely to outperform, and we're expecting move towards 6,000, 6,200 positionally. So HDFC will be a first pick. Second would be from the new age space itself, ATM. So we have been quite bullish on this counter from last couple of weeks, and we have seen a good momentum in Paytm from 1,000 levels to almost 1,150 levels. But on the setup wise, the momentum is still intact. A weekly scale very strong consolidation breakout, daily scale negative formation of lower highs, and definitely slowly steadily we can see move towards 1250, 1280 levels with a view of 1 to 2 months perspective. So Paytm and HDFC would be our two preferred picks for the coming week to 15 days time frame.
Okay, 1 week to 2 weeks kind of a time frame for these two stock ideas. Paytm's parent company 197 and HDFC AMC waiting by for the markets to kick start, and then we'll come back to our broader conversation with both Vineet and Arpit. Let's look at the setup. Yes, we have started to tick higher. 24,900 is with us right at the opening tick. We're up by a 25 odd points on the Nifty right now, 1/10% up in trade. Among the sectors, it's a mixed start where infra, metals, oil and gas have started on the positive foot, even the consumer durables, but rest of the pack has started on the back foot, especially private banks, Nifty Bank as a whole, financial services, IT sector, PSU banks, those are the ones that are starting on the back foot. Autos that had driven the show yesterday are starting with a mild profit taking, slightly lower in trade right now, even though the broader markets are now picking up some pace. On the Nifty, you have NTPC that's higher by 1.2%. You also have Reliance Industries that's also opening on a positive zone right now. Tata Consumer Products is another one that's opening higher. Within the F&O pack, you have names like Indus Towers, Vodafone, Reliance Industries. So all of those stocks which have some telecom focus is starting on the positive note right now. Picking up when we look at the broadest index, the Nifty 500 index there. Let's look at a few stocks there that are moving in the positive zone. You have HLE Glasscoat that's higher by 12% in trade today. Sadbhav Infra is up by, that's a penny stock, so let's avoid that one. Let's look at even names like Blue Coast Hotel. So some of the smaller hotels is opening up higher. We also have very far and few between stocks. Capstan Services, one of the recently listed ones, 4.5% up in trade from the broadest index. Not too much that we can mark out, but Reliance is now the top mover, 1406, 1.7% higher. Bharti Airtel is also now picking up pace right now. So you have the entire telecom basket that's clearly in focus. Oil and gas is now ticking up in trade as well. And let's look at even the broader markets. Small caps up by 0.5% in trade right now. Let's me quickly take a view from Arpit first and then go back to Vineet then. Arpit, your sense of how the opening is, do you sustain with your view?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Sakshi, if we see from last couple of weeks, we were discussing about level of 24,750, 24,800. That was the initially hurdle zone. And as the market has a tendency to trend in a falling manner, so now the trend of the market has been from the negative bias to on a positive bias. But looking at the same structure wise, 24,800 would be a key level to watch out for. And our stance is that till Nifty holds about 24,800 levels, our stance will be positive. But at the same time, upside is capped near 25,000, 20,100 levels. So you have to play broadly within this range, and stock specific action is likely to continue. Along with that, if we'll talk about Bank Nifty over here, so Bank Nifty yesterday we've seen a good gap up opening, but post that we've seen some cool off from the high levels near 56,000 levels. But initially, if we should talk about Bank Nifty was consolidating between a band between 55,000 to 55,600 from last many sessions. Yesterday, it finally gave a range breakout above 55,500 levels. And the good part is that though heavyweights are underperforming, but it is holding at higher levels. So a stance for Bank Nifty also till it holds above 55,555 levels, a stance would be positive for an upside move towards 56,000, 56,200 zones.
Okay, let me go across to Vineet. Vineet, the telecom space is buzzing again. Have you been off late looking at all of these stocks within the basket of telecom as well? We've seen how Vodafone came out with the numbers recently. Again, is looking for some kind of a credit support there. We're also looking at how, Morgan Stanley has come out with a report on telecom, has said that Reliance Jio has dropped its popular 1 GB per day plan of 249 rupees as well. And 249 plan was the only remaining 1 GB per day plan that Reliance had, and its lowest priced 28-day plan. So looks like, premiumization is the focus now going forward from here. All those freebies, lower ticket ones that were first announced amidst a lot of war that was being seen on the tariff as far as, telecom companies are seeing, is also on the back burner now. Companies are focusing more on profitability. How are you looking at the telecom basket? What's your choice here?
So, every effort taken to, boost the average selling price of their ARPU is going to add directly to the bottom line. And there's a lot of operating leverage playing out. And we think that Bharti and Reliance will do very well going ahead. So, the story is still not started for these two stocks, although they've moved up substantially. But I think that Jio and Bharti will see even better times to come in the coming years. So, good stocks to add at every dip into your portfolio.
All right, we'll just take a very quick break right here, viewers. We'll be back very, very shortly. Look at the Nifty, it's hovering around 24,908. Vineet and Arpit both will be with us after the break, so stay tuned.
Why the Election Commission doesn't give us electronic data? Because they don't want us to look carefully.
हलफनामा देना होगा या देश से माफी मांगनी होगी।
Biggest flare-up in voter list review showdown. The poll panel versus Rahul Gandhi clash turning into a full-fledged war.
इनकी आखिरी साजिश ये है कि बिहार में SIR करके नए वोटरों को जोड़कर वोटरों को काटकर ये बिहार का चुनाव चोरी करें।
ये सारे आरोप निराधार हैं और हमारे मतदाताओं को ये कहना कि वो फर्जी हैं, इसके ऊपर जो भी इस व्यक्त बात को बोल रहा है उसको माफी मांगनी।
As Rahul and Tejashwi launched their voter Adhikar Yatra.
Welcome back. You're watching Market Today on Business Today Television. We are with two of our market experts, Vineet Bulinshkar and Arpit Beriwal, who are both helping us understand the key market strategies and where the focus should be of investors in this current market setup as well. Coming back to you, Vineet, we were talking about the telecom space, but within the telecom, we have a conglomerate, Reliance Industries, to look at. There's another key trigger for Reliance today, and that is that we are looking at the company's foray with its consumer arm into healthy beverages as well. So right now we are looking at this conglomerate as a whole. Going forward, of course, there'll be a lot of IPOs that we're expected. But on Reliance Industries per se, how are you looking at what is the opportunity going forward from here? And with what lens are you looking at when it comes to an investment opportunity on RIL?
So, my clear trigger for betting on RIL is going to be the impending IPOs. Other than that, I don't see any new trigger because all the businesses are mature. They're kind of slowing down, and only the Jio and Reliance Retail are the businesses that are expected to do well. The oil marketing, refining business can also do well because now the prices of oil are quite settling down. There is less volatility given the fact that we are on the eve of culmination of the Russia-Ukraine war. So, Reliance, to my point, will take time to go up. But I believe that the other stocks in the telecom that is Bharti should keep performing much better than expected.
Okay, got that. Well, let me also just bring up for you the auto space. Then, Vineet, that was buzzing yesterday. Within the auto pack, which is the segment that's giving you more confidence at this point in time? We actually saw everything fly away yesterday, from four-wheelers to commercial vehicles to even two-wheelers, in trade on the back of hopes of GST rate cuts, substantially reducing the prices and therefore, pushing the demand ahead of the festive season. What's the sense that you have here?
So I believe that autos will really do well because if clearly the interest rate is going to be one of the key determinants of demand. And with rates coming down, and as I said, the weightage is also coming down. I think that two-wheeler and within that the EV space is going to perform much better. And here I'm betting aggressively on Ola. We believe that it captures the complete value chain, and that stock can do well. Another stock that we like is Hero Motors. We believe that their premium portfolio is also coming of age, and we will see contributions from there also increase. So these two are currently some of my value picks in this sector.
Okay, got that. Let me quickly come to even Arpit then. Arpit, any suggestion when we talk about the consumption space? We've talked about Hero Moto and a lot of these auto stocks. Beyond autos as well, are you looking at any consumption-driven theme that one should be tracking?
So actually, interestingly, yesterday we have seen a very strong momentum across the outer counters, but along with that, selective pockets such as that has been really underperformed from a lot of time. That was one of the counter from the consumption space is DMart. So if you look at the chart structure of DMart, overall, if you see, it was in a very sideways move, but from last couple of weeks, we have seen a very strong rally from 4200 to 4600 levels. So technically, a classical range breakout on the weekly scale after almost 15 to 20 weeks, that definitely bodes well for the bulls. And I think slowly, steadily, the stock can head towards 4800, 4900 levels. So one is this counter that looks really promising on the charts, and the risk reward is also quite favorable at this junction. So I think DMart would be a preferred within the consumption basket going forward.
Okay, got that. I hope this has also given us some clarity there. Let me just come to some of the other pockets within the markets that even Vineet can share his views on as well. Commodity space right now, Vineet, how are you looking at that aspect? Oil and gas, metal space, how are you looking at these pockets and what's in the offing then?
That as we've spoken about the reset, that could be
Yeah.
like a downtrend for the stock in the short run. But once that is over and done with, I think we are going to see a very, very strong run in the real real economy stocks, the commodities, and it's going to be a very long drawn out bull market. Uh, so you just have to hold on to those stocks, and right now there are no go in my opinion, because as I said, this reset will have a selling effect on these stocks, and once they go down, that is the time when you should be looking to buy them.
Okay, fair point. So that's the commodity basket for you viewers. Let me just also bring up another aspect. Of course, oil and gas is among the top movers today, and a lot of that action is coming in from Vedanta as well. When we talk about the metal space, what about you, Arpit? Would you be able to tell us technically what is the strategy one must adopt on Vedanta? It's in focus because the company is money dividend, and August 27 is going to be the date by which investors will need to decide whether they want to have this stock in their portfolio or not to be benefited from the dividend announcement. What exactly would your trading strategy be here?
So if I look at the bigger time frame structure, Vedanta, the stock is broadly in a range between 410 to 470 levels from last almost 2 to 3 months. And if you look at the immediate structure for last few days, the stocks finally managed to surpass above 443. That was the previous hurdle level around 440 levels. And now with a strong opening, the stock is holding well. So I think from a setup wise, it's broadly with a range. Currently 430, 435 would be a major support zone. On the upside, the stock can head towards 455, 460. So one can play this move with keeping stop loss of 435 for an upside move towards 460. Having said that, the upside is capped, so you have to play within this range. 460 would be the major hurdle levels. On the immediate basis, 435, 436 would be the major support zone. So one can go long with keeping these levels in mind.
Okay, fair point. Vineet, towards the end, before we let you go here, we are at the starting of the festive season till the year end, the calendar year end. What is your thought process there? If you have to bet big on a certain sectors or stocks, if you could highlight that for our viewers.
So I just shared with you initially in the program that electrification is a very, very strong
Yeah.
no-brainer theme. And out here, I think the transmission sector looks very, very good. I believe that Adani Energy Solutions is very, very underpriced. In our opinion, it quotes at about half times its fair value. So, you have some very strong trends going to play out there. And, as I said, we have a event on disruptive event out there, which we have to manage. So if you want to find place to hide, as I said, it's going to be the electrical space because it's a proxy not only for manufacturing and growth, but also for the AI's, as an input element there. So continue to be bullish on the entire value chain out here, and all you got to do is pick up your stocks. My pick is Adani Energy Solutions.
Fantastic. Okay, Vineet, good to be speaking to you. Thank you so much for sharing your view here. Just one more question before we let you go. Bluestone, that's the one that's getting listed today. Any view on that one?
With all this activity around, jewelry stocks, I think I'll just give it a skip.
Okay, thank you so much then, Vineet, for that view and for sharing all those insights. Always a pleasure to host you. All right, viewers, we'll continue our conversation with Arpit then. Arpit, 24,911, first 15 minutes of a candle is formed. Which is the pocket of the market that's attracting more of your attention today?
So Sakshi, right now, if we see, as we discussed right at the start of the session, you mentioned about the telecom space, and
Yeah.
from a lot of time, Reliance was underperforming. And
Yeah.
today, if we see, after a very long consolidation, after almost 13 to 14 sessions, the stock has finally seen some green shoots, a strong bullish candle. The stock is on the verge of the range breakout after its consolidation band. So I think Reliance and Bharti would be in focus, and that is definitely aiding well to the index as being the heavyweights. So I think from here on, we can see the support-based buying. Yesterday already we have seen good rally in the auto stocks. So I think talking about immediate basis, Reliance looks good because the risk reward is quite favorable. The stock was consolidating from lot of from 13 to 14 days, and now the risk reward very looks favorable. The Reliance can slowly steadily head towards 1430, 1440 levels, and Bharti has been a top pick within the telecom pack. Last 1 to 2 months, the stock has seen some corrective phase. but the bigger trend of the stock is still positive, and slowly steadily the stock can again head back towards 1982,000 levels going forward. So I think Reliance and Bharti can support on the index front. Apart from that, if we talk about the sectors such as specifically if we talk about selective metals. So as you already discussed about Vedanta, so within the similar space, we talk about counters such as JSW Steel. So where the entire metal index has been consolidating, but JSW Steel is the one which is holding well, trading a life high territory, and slowly, steadily the base of the stock is shifting higher. So on the weekly and the monthly setup, with the trend of the stock is positive. Yesterday, it finally gave a range breakout above 1060 levels, and I think today it would be crucial that the stock holds above 1060 levels. So slowly, steadily, we can see a good move towards 1120, 1150 levels. Along with that, one more counter is on our radar is from the commodity space, that is cement space. And cement space has been seen yesterday also, we've seen a very good momentum. And if we talk about within that counter, Ultratech has been a prime beneficiary, and looking at the chart setup wise, a classical strong uptrend on the weekly and the monthly time frame. It retested its previous zone on the weekly time frame around 12,000 levels. Yesterday, we've seen a good uptick. Today, it's been consolidative. But positionally, from here on also, we can expect good 7 to 8% rally with a time frame of 2 to 3 months. So I think Ultratech and JSW Steel would be on radar from the commodity pack as well.
Okay, got that. Let me just also now quickly look at some of the other stocks that are buzzing. Okay, from the F&O pack, Inox Wind is picking up pace. This is a contrast. In the last 4-5 sessions, we saw Suzlon continue to decline right after announcements of its earnings, as well as a rejig on its top management level. The stock had been consistently falling. Yesterday was the 4th day. Inox Wind, on the other hand, has picked up a lot of pace, 3.5% higher in trade. When we talk about renewable energy, again, a theme that had been very, very promising in the last year, this year had dwindled a bit lower. What's your sense here? Do you think there is any sign of a reversal of trend?
So first, if we talk about the theme as a whole, the last entire year has been very much choppy. If we see from the year-on-year return basis, very lot of stocks have underperformed. Now talking about theme as a whole, talking about Inox Wind, if you look at the bigger time frame structure on the weekly and the monthly setup wise, so way back in February or March series, where the stock rallied from 140 to almost 200 levels, now the stock is back to its previous major support zone. And on the daily and the weekly setup, we have seen some reversal, but we would wait a closing above 147 for any decisive move. From a positional perspective, definitely looking at the chart structure wise, it is at a very crucial support zone. So I think risk reward is favorable. And also one more thing we'd like to mention is that index or the stocks has been more in a trading band. And if you look at the trading band from Inox Wind, 135, 136 is a major support zone. So from here on, definitely one can add with keeping stop loss of 135 for a positional up move towards 160, 180 levels going forward.
Okay, got that. Well, we'll just take a quick break right here, and we'll come back and discuss more stock ideas with Arpit. Stay tuned.
Years, 12 speeches, but not one word about the RSS until now. For the first time, Prime Minister Narendra Modi broke that silence, and not with a passing remark, but with a glowing tribute. Calling the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh one of the world's biggest NGOs, crediting it for nation building, saying it has served India for 100 years, and that he was honored to salute their service on Independence Day.
सेवा, समर्पण, संगठन और अप्रतिम अनुशासन ये जिसकी पहचान रही है, ऐसा राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ दुनिया का ये सबसे बड़ा एनजीओ है। एक प्रकार से 100 साल का उसका समर्पण का इतिहास है।
But that praise has set off a political firestorm. Both Congress MP Manikam Tagore and AIMIM chief OAC called this tribute an insult to freedom fighters. They accused the RSS of standing aloof from the independence struggle and of spreading division, not unity. Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav hit out too, stating that the RSS was neither secular nor socialist.
संघ का और उनके परिवार के लोगों का जो संघ परिवार है उसका रास्ता सेकुलर और सोशलिस्ट नहीं है। ये मुंह से तो हैं स्वदेशी लेकिन मन से नहीं, मन से विदेशी हैं।
The words got sharper, the fight got personal.
It is unfortunate because the same RSS was banned by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. He has not just undermined one of India's foremost freedom fighters, Vallabhbhai Patel, who had banned the RSS. His attempts to legitimize it will fail because this is the same organization that inspired India's first terrorist to kill Mahatma Gandhi.
Nonetheless, the Prime Minister's effusive praise for the RSS has gone a long way in quashing rumours of a rift with the Sangh chief, even though it has come at the cost of a political firestorm.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.
Welcome back. You're watching Market Today on Business Today Television. We have Arpit Beriwal with us to help us understand the key stock ideas and trading strategies for the day. A large part of the sectors have slipped into the red. It's the real estate space that's slipping lower in trade now. You have financial services, PSU banks overall, even autos that were the winning factor yesterday is now seeing some profits being taken off the table. IT is also down in trade. Barring just say oil and gas, which is the shining spot today, and infra metal stocks, commodity based stocks, rest all of them have actually slipped in trade today. Let me quickly ask Arpit as to how to look at some of these stocks and sectors that are on the declining side. We've been seeing IT sector as a sector that has been again a laggard over the last couple of months. How would you really look at the IT sector? Do you think this kind of a low trend is giving any opportunity for long-term investors to accumulate here, or do you think the trend could continue to stay subdued for some more time, Arpit?
So Sakshi, I'd like to mention about if we see the last 3 to 6 months trend, where we see bottom out in the March April series when Nifty bottom around 22,500. From there on, we have seen good recovery in the indexes. But surprisingly, a lot of sectors have underperformed since then. And if you look at the sectors such as IT, realty, and particularly railways, these three sectors have grossly underperformed in spite of the recovery in the indices from last couple of days to weeks time frame. So particularly talking about IT from last couple of months has been underperforming. Yes, we have seen some bounces back move from the lower levels, but that has been short-lived. And now also if you look at the monthly structure wise, as of now, there's no major sign of reversal. Though selective pockets are outperforming, but if you look at the major space of the IT, out of 20 counters, broadly 15 to 16 counters are still underperforming. Now talking about from an investment perspective also, definitely as per a theory also, relative strength is very important, but as of now I think there will be much more pain that would be still left because we are not seeing any major reversal on the bigger time frame chart. So as for the investment thesis, we'll look for the bigger time frame structure. Having said that, there is still some more pain I think left from the sector perspective, so better to wait and let the prices reflect it, and then it's better to entry at a better risk reward time frame from an investment perspective. Barring that only very selective stocks are doing well in IT, so better to wait and watch and wait for some stability.
Okay, got that. From your own company and firm, Motilal Oswal, Arpit, we've got a report on JSW Cement as well in trade today, where you've started off with initiating coverage with a neutral rating and a target price of 163 today as well. Of course, there are individual, triggers for which you've looked at JSW Cement, which is, a recently listed stock. I want you to, guide us on the overall cement space, because this is the one that will not give you enough trading, historical data. But overall cement space, that's also being seen as one of the key beneficiaries of GST 2.0. How are you looking at this basket? What are your top choice of stocks? If somebody who does not have a cement stock in their portfolio today, which is that one or two stocks that they should start off with their investments looking to take the benefit of GST cuts?
Perfectly. So, as a cement pack has seen a very strong base formation in the June and mid-July series, and post that slowly, steadily, the sector is outperforming. Though we don't have seen a significant gains, but slowly, steadily, we have seen good outperformance in this space as a whole. So, two picks would be from first would be the large cap pack as a whole that we discuss about Ultratech cement. So, if someone wants to build a position in the cement pack and with a view time frame of 6 months to 1 year perspective, definitely Ultratech cement would be a first choice, and a monthly breakout on the monthly chart after almost 1.5 2 years. So definitely we can see good upside, 15 to 20% upside with a time frame of 1 year. Ultratech cement would be a first choice with major support around 11,000 levels. Second would be a classical uptrending counter, that is JK cement. So if you see where a lot of cement counters has underperformed and has been remained sluggish, but this counter has been a very strong uptrend. So a classical strong uptrend on the monthly scale, from forming higher highs, higher lows, and still I think from here on also we can see good upside going forward. So this JK Cement also we can head towards 8,000, 8,500 levels additionally. So I think Ultratech and JK Cement would be our two choices that we can vouch for within the cement pack.
Okay, got that. So that's the key view as far as the cement pack is concerned. Let me just also pull up some of the other segments. I think within the oil and gas space also, we have, been seeing a lot of momentum. Arpit, between the downstream makers, IOC, HPCL, BPCL, are you looking at any fresh moves there that could be tracked technically?
Sakshi, if we see generally OMCs are really tricky to play it out, and from last couple of days also the structure has been more or less mixed. If I look at the chart structure of BPCL, HPCL, IOC, all three stock structures are not that great or the positive bias. In fact, we are seeing some cooler from the higher levels. I think from the chart specific wise, still all these rounders need some stability. And within that also, we have to choose out for, we'll go for BPCL. But I think looking at the chart structure wise, it is still stuck in range and better to wait for any better straight setup to play on the positive side or on the negative side going forward.
Okay, fair point. Let me also bring up a few more stocks. Let me hopefully, in fact, even the gas related stocks are also on a higher zone. Petronet LNG, I think, is also on the move there. Specifically on the gas front, do you have any key choices of stocks?
If I look at the chart structure of first talking about Petronet itself, so now Petronet, if you look at the chart structure on the daily and the weekly setup, the stock was correcting from almost 300 levels to 310 levels. The stock is corrected to around 265, 270 levels, and now in the daily setup from last 7 to 8 days, the stock is forming kind of in a range pattern. So from a risk reward wise, it's kind of forming double bottom pattern on the daily scale, but the confirmation would be around 280 levels. So I think chart setup wise, Petronet still offers a good risk reward opportunity because it is trading near its support zone, and I think Petronet one can go long with keeping stop loss of below 268 for an upside move towards 290. Along with that, if you look at the chart structure of IGL and MGL, the chart structure are not that promising, so it's better to wait for the bullish bias. Petronet would be a better choice as compared to the other gas companies.
Okay, got that. I hope this is also given enough and more, kind of stock ideas for all our viewers to look at the oil and gas story. From the Nifty 500 basket, some more stocks are catching up on momentum. Let me just point out Ola Electric Mobility, that's up by nearly 6% at 43.7. That's something that we could discuss with Arpit. We are also looking at a lot of other stocks that are hovering higher. Even textile stocks, remember, they had been really, volatile off late because of the tariff tantrum news. Today, most of them are actually improving in trade. Look at a Vardhaman Textile, 8% higher in trade. Nahar Spinning, 6% higher in trade. Kitex Garments, 4.5% higher in trade. So, Ambika Cotton Mills, 5.5%, 6% higher. So, the entire textile space is actually buzzing towards the positive side. There could be hopes of, some kind of a breakthrough between Russia, Ukraine that could ease out any kind of tariff tantrum talks that, US has been doing. And there is hope that perhaps going forward, India will not have to bear the burden of additional 25% tariffs that is slated to be, implemented starting August of 27. That's where the overhang is. And in case that overhang gets reduced, there's a big positive for the entire space that is export bound, likes of export oriented sectors like textiles, even gems and jewelry, some chemicals, fertilizer stocks as well. On textiles specifically, how are you looking at this bounce, Arpit? Would you play any stock here?
Sakshi, if we talk about textile particularly, we have seen from last 2 to 3 months the pattern has been whenever there is some news trigger, we see a good uptake in this counter for next couple of days, and post that the stocks get sidelined. So looking at the chart structure wise, if you look at the Vardhaman textiles particularly, so if you look at the daily and the weekly time frame, the stock is turning from its support zone. And yesterday you're seeing decent volumes. Today also we are seeing a good uptake. So I think to play the reversal bet, Vardhaman Textiles definitely provides a better opportunity. And apart from that, I think better it's more of an intraday bet rather than of a positional bet. So Vardhaman looks good. A range breakout, and definitely the stock can head towards 460 475 levels, but such counters are more or less a quick entry, quick exit, and a kind of a quick trading bet with keeping stop loss of 420 for an upside move towards 460 470 levels.
One of the other key triggers for this entire textile space is the Finance Ministry issuing a notification via the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs on Monday evening, removing the basics customs duty as well as the agri, infrastructure and development cess on raw cotton imports. This is till September 30th, giving temporary relief to the textile and garment industry amid the concerns regarding the Trump tariffs as well. So that's the domestic support that the industry is really looking at getting as an interim relief, and that's what is also pulling up the stocks higher in trade. All right, thanks a lot then Arpit for being with us on the program today and helping all our viewers understand the key strategies on the markets and identifying key pockets of where opportunities of buying can still emerge. Always great to speak to you, so thank you so much for being with us. Viewers, what we are going to be doing is now shifting our focus to the primary market space. There's a new debut stock that you're going to be looking at right now, and Pawan Nahar, my colleague, is joining in with all those details. We're looking at, Pawan, good morning to you. Bluestone Jewelry and Lifestyle getting listed. What is the pre-market indication, right? Is there going to be a substantial listing gain for investors?
Good morning, Sakshi. So it is not a very good listing for Bluestone Jewelry. The
Okay.
company is getting listed at discount of around 2% against the issue price of 517. On BSE, we can see the stock is being settled at 508 rupees and 80 paise for this IPO, while the price for listing on NSE is 510. So yes, 1.5% of discount on both the indices. And that has been the listing for this company, and the issue did not get even a very good response. It was barely booked around 2.7% with the HNI category of non-institutional investors that was undersubscribed. It was booked only 55% during the 3-day bidding period. The IPO was open between August 11 to August 13, and unfortunately it is not a very good listing for the investors who applied for this issue.
Okay, not a very good listing at this point in time. Even the grey market versus premium was indicative of a, flat listing, absolutely. But it's now a discounted listing as what we are expecting, as Pawan has really shared with us at this point in time. And we are going to be, of course, speaking to a lot of experts today to really help you understand that in case you got the allotment of Bluestone, what exactly should your trading strategy be now or investing strategy be now on this one as well. Pawan, thanks a lot for sharing that update with all our viewers on Bluestone Jewelry. Issue price of 517, IPO size of 1540 odd crore rupees, and we are looking at a 2% discounted listing, at least for now. 10 a.m. is when we see the final listing, and we'll see whether after it gets listed during the course of the day, there is any kind of pickup that really happens on the stock going forward from here. And throughout the course of the day, we will of course get you a lot of expert voices guiding you through what exactly should you be really looking at this point in time. Thank you so much for being with us, viewers, then on the morning edition of Market Today. I hope you've got enough and more understanding of how the trading strategy is to be formed for the day-to-day in the secondary markets and what to expect in the primary markets as well. Remember, there are a lot of new IPOs also that are opening today, and in case you want to get all of that information, well, stay tuned on to Business Today television. Throughout the course of the day, you will see and hear a lot of information on the new IPO space and whether that makes sense for you to really keep a keen eye out on as well. Thank you so much for joining in on the morning edition of Market Today. Stay tuned, market conversations to follow, and daily calls will come in at 12 noon that answers all your stock related queries. See you then.